Leinster, the Superkarts 250 and 125 cc's preparing for a rolling start as they take up their positions on the grid. The current leader in the championship, Peter Baxter from Portadown, on pole. James Deary chasing for that challenge that he's always gone for from Monaghan, of course, followed by Ray Johnson in the second row and Brian King from Antrim. It's going to be a magnificent, if a very noisy race. The 6-speed gearbox, an 80 brake horse kart that's capable of doing 125 miles on this straight here at Mondello today. I think we're in for some terrific action, John.
Yes, a rolling start for these 250 Superkarts. They will come down from the Dunlop corner, down onto the Dunlop straight. Now they'll grid themselves basically and head towards the red light, which is currently stationary. They'll get the green any second now as they head down, and Baxter will lead them through on the start-finish line, and they get the green and away they go, and Baxter gets the best start from Deary going into the first corner, and a whole clatter of carts into the first corner, but he holds on. Peter Baxter takes the lead into Coca-Cola corner.
This is round 6, of course, of the North-South Championship. It's very important that Peter maintains this comfortable lead of 18 points ahead of James Deary, and he's really hoping over the next 10 laps that he can do it. He's established a fine lead here, ahead of James, but whether he keeps it remains to be seen.
Yes, a bad start from James Deary there. He dropped down to 4th place, with allowing Johnson and King to get past him, and this of course gives Baxter the chance to pull away as they come into the S's. One of the cars dropping out there at the back, that is number 12, Brendan Carr. So his race is run very, very early, but as they head up towards Dunlop corner, this is our race leader. Now you just see him coming, cresting the hill, turning into the corner, number 63, as Deary tries to make a place into 3rd place. Does Deary get it? Deary does not get it. Deary stays down in 4th place behind number 15, Brian King. 9 laps to go. Baxter leads.
Top speed of approximately 185 miles an hour, about 120 on the straight here in Mondello. Silverstone lap times, you might be interested to know, would put them midway down the starting grid of the British Grand Prix.
Good overtaking manoeuvre there from our 3rd place man, James Deary, who was in the front row of the grid, eventually getting past Brian King, and now into 3rd place and chasing the top 2. It is Peter Baxter ahead of Raymond Johnson. Deary now up to 3rd place, and of course Deary part of this great Monaghan dynasty kart racing. 4 Dearys out here racing today, Gareth.
Deary, 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 Deary. That's right indeed, and James, the dad of the lot, and as many of his friends have said, it's hard to remember how long James has been out there. They spend all of their time, all of their money, and as much of the week as they possibly can looking after those precious karts.
Yes, been racing for more years than he cares to remember, along with Eamon Deary, who's here today. John Deary, who's the baby of the pack, is only his 5th race. He's some way down the field, and Peter Deary as well. Baxter still leads. Baxter still leads with 8 laps to go into Coca-Cola corner.
Raymond Johnson closely behind on his tail, number 73, and James Deary trying to make back up those precious few feet to take that 2nd place again.
Yes, it's an impressive performance from James Deary. He did have a very slow start, slumped down to 4th place, but has now worked his way back up the field and is with the leading duo. That is Peter Baxter still leading ahead of Raymond Johnson. James Deary keeping a watching brief in 3rd as they go into the S's.
It might look very simple, but direct steering, no power steering, I might add, in either of the 2 classes. These cars are capable of 130 miles an hour. Eamon Deary, by the way, his specialty is an average of 75 miles an hour.
That's around this 1.2 Mondello Park circuit here, and they're lapping around 52.84 seconds. That's our leader, Peter Baxter, as he comes down to start his 4th lap. 7 laps to go. He has been driving karts for a number of years now, Northern Irish champ for the last 3 years, so he's well experienced and knows how to hold on to a lead.
Now he's only got 17 points in the lead here, so he really does need a win today, because James is sitting behind him with 228. This is of course after 5 rounds. We're into round 6 this afternoon, but as you can see, they're very, very buoyant little karts, powerful beyond imagination, but boy did they jump around this fairly bumpy circuit.
Yes, that lap time is referring to around 54.5, the last lap time there for Baxter. It would equate to one of the Formula Opel cars, who of course are racing here for the Leinster Trophy later on today. They're lapping at around a 53 as well, so it just shows you how fast these little karts can go. We've got now in 2nd place, James Deary has got into 2nd place, coming up to Dunlop corner. He is now in 2nd place ahead of Raymond Johnson. So as we started from the front of the grid, It's Peter Baxter who leads James Deary from Raymond Johnson and Brian King.
It's very, very close, and of course, as you can see, Brian King trying to pull to get himself closer to the top 3 runners there this afternoon. It's a very warm day, and you can imagine the heat of these karts with those heavy helmets and the leathers that these guys are wearing. Obviously leathers because they're not actually strapped into the karts, so that if an accident does happen, they want to leave first.
We certainly don't want that to happen. Just further down the field, we will give you the result of it a little later on, is the 125 karts. They are, of course, mixed in here with these 250s. Currently Dave Montgomery leads that, but this is the one we're really concentrating on. Peter Baxter, who won the qualifying race a little bit earlier on, and James Deary, who were battling nose to tail, and I must say the best racer out there so far for me is James Deary, having battled his way up from 4th to 2nd place, but he has, of course, all over his back exhaust pipe. Raymond Johnson, number 73.
Now Peter Baxter, number 63, is very, very aware that James is looking to get through this open door there. If he leaves the door marginally open, it could happen right here, in fact.
3 in the line as they go into Coca corner, and they touched, and this will allow Deary the chance to go around. Oh, that is a disaster from Peter Baxter. Raymond Johnson tried down the inside, Peter Baxter on the outside, the old meat in the sandwich, and James Deary just braked, backed off, and said, thank you very much, I'm taking the lead. So Deary from 4th to 1st in the space of 3 laps.
So it's now Brian King, and just disregard some of the tails you'll see coming through there, because they are now beginning to lap the 125s. Here it comes again.
Let's see this again. The old meat in the sandwich. Their number 73, Raymond Johnson, just gives a little nick to our race leader, Peter Baxter. Deary says, thank you very much, goes around the outside, takes the lead.
This is sensational racing by the 250s. Leader number 15, Brian King, must be very pleased with himself now, but obviously very, very aware that sitting close on his tail is Tom O'Kane, who didn't do too well actually in the heat this morning. He was winning for a long time.
Yes, an impressive performance, I must say, from Tom O'Kane, because he started at the back of the grid. He didn't actually finish the last qualifying race. Started as he meant to go on, unfortunately went off just where you're seeing there now, going out of the Coca-Cola corner, heading out into the country. Didn't finish the last race, but he was at the back of the grid in the 250s, and now battling for the lead with Peter Deary. Can he get around the outside? There's a back marker in the way. Thankfully they get around him at Bridgestone corner. Deary, of course, is now getting back into the picture, but that's to muzzle, and O'Kane goes for the lead as they go into the S's. O'Kane has taken the lead into the S's. I must say, this is a very, very impressive performance from Tom O'Kane. Last on the grid before today's race. Well, he was actually in qualifying, was leading, but because of that non-finish, unfortunately had to start at the back of the grid, but he's worked his way back up, and now Deary goes for 2nd place. Deary back up the inside. Deary gets 2nd place. Can he chase Tom O'Kane down?
3 laps to go in this remarkable tussle among the top 3, ever changing. I'm not quite sure what's actually going to happen at the end of this straight, but 3 laps to go, and at the moment it's Tom O'Kane.
Tom O'Kane leading, and an impressive performance, as I said, coming from the back of the grid to take the lead. I can't see anybody catching him. If he's going that fast, he's lapping around 54.31 seconds. That's his exact lap time, and Deary's down in the 53s, so I have to say that if he's lapping in the 53s, can he pull him in?
And these karts are running strictly on slicks this afternoon. Quite a number of the drivers were telling me earlier on after the first heat that they are handling badly today, because obviously the road surface is very, very warm here at Mondello, and the going is quite tough for these guys.
Yes, middle of the afternoon racing here at Mondello Park. There will be a lot of rubber down on the circuit, marbles as we call them here, and you can step out of a racing line, get onto those marbles, especially with slick tyres, and the back end wants to step out to you all these times. These nippy little karts. 2 laps to go. Our race leader from the back of the grid, Tom O'Kane.
It almost looks as if Tom's keeping his chin up and grinning there happily, but don't grin for too long, Tom, because sitting right behind you is James. James, by the way, has been karting, I hear, for over 27 years.
Down in the 53.93 for O'Kane. Deary down in 53.69, so he's actually lapping slightly quicker, an average speed around 77, 76 miles an hour on the main straight doing 125. But a whole lot of 125, a whole clatter of 125s as they head on their penultimate lap. So this may give a chance for Deary to go around at the bottom of the S's. Deary's going to try around the outside, but O'Kane says, no, thank you very much. I'm going to close the door, just nip in one of the back markers and give himself a little bit of room as they come up to the Dunlop corner for the 2nd last time. It's
a brave manoeuvre trying to go around the outside on this track, because obviously you've got to stick to the line if you want to do it meticulously. There he is, kart number 71, Tom O'Kane, our leader at the moment, and
that's a naughty boy flag. We can't actually see the number, and that's We'll find out a little bit later on a naughty boy flag, which is the cross of the white and the black flag shown to one of the carts out there who's obviously doing something wrong, something that the marshals have seen. We can't see it at number, unfortunately, but just gives a little naughty boy flag to say, listen, don't do that again. A little schmozzle in front of there. This is one of the marshals. It's spin-off number 73 there. Unfortunately, one of the marshals is attending to Raymond Johnson, who was one time our early leader. So he seems to have hit the bag and bounced off sideways, and one of our marshals there is actually attending to Raymond Johnson as he lies on the grass. Hopefully he's okay, but this is our battle for the lead, going through the S's, now heading up to Dunlop Corner. Tom O'Kane ahead of James Deary as they head for the final corner. Can Deary get around? Can he try around the inside? No, I don't think he can. It's Tom O'Kane who keeps that racing line, keeps ahead of himself. He tries to slipstream. James Deary tries to slipstream as they go past the start-finish line together. It is Tom O'Kane from the back of the grid who takes the win ahead of James Deary. But let's hope that Raymond Johnson, who seemed to be in some kind of distress there with the penultimate lap to go, hitting the bank, let's hope that he's okay, Gareth.
So there's the final result of the 250s. Tom O'Kane from Kildare, our winner this afternoon, and what a sensational comeback from the back of the grid. James Deary in second place from Monaghan, from Antrim, Brian King, and in fourth place, Peter Baxter, the man who started out at the front, but unfortunately couldn't